Hikari, visual description. Radiance. Hikari is a 2017 Japanese film directed by Naomi Kawase. The dilemma of the audio description was concealed in the dialogue between the male lead, a photographer who is slowly losing his sight, and the female lead, an audio description writer for the visually impaired. The plot started with Hayes making things difficult for her in the trial film. All of a sudden, he said that she said too much detail, and it was disturbing, and that she omitted too much, no room for imagination, and that she was self-righteous in her subjective interpretation. And then asked again, "Are you planning to escape?" This is not so much a dilemma as the work of the audio description, because there is almost no clear standard line for the mutual apprehension, and there is no perfect way to do it. The audio description, visual description, is a narrative service for the benefit of people with sight loss by grabbing what is happening on the screen into audible descriptions. It is a means to inform individuals who are blind or who have a low vision about visual elements essential for context comprehension. The narration that describes what is happening on the screen, including physical actions, facial expressions, costumes, settings, and scene changes, provides information about actions, characters, on-screen text, and other visual content. This service makes videos and multimedia accessible to people who have low vision, poor vision, or who are blind. Audio description is a kind of translation, and it is divided into 3 levels, followed by reflection, reproduction, and presentation, while the audio description is usually between reflection and reproduction. The viewpoints of the sighted people in describing the world are often reproduced. For example, when describing a certain object, the sighted people will use an adjective to define the object through personal understanding, and not based on the physical fact. If we want the visually impaired to learn visual literacy, the narrator must describe the visual reality of this object and how it is constructed by more detail-informed. Some audio descriptions produced by people without professional training always emphasize that the protagonist is now feeling happy in the film. This is an over-inference of the character's mental state, turning the audio description into novels. Even worse, the narrators fabricate content that is not on the screen and express the viewing experience of themselves. The visually impaired will say, "Don't take your feelings over mine, I have my own judgment." In the life of sighted people, the restraints came from others' egotism. Sometimes the teaching and instructions from parents, teachers, or religious leaders all make the same mistakes, depriving the right of the individual to think and feel independently.